All right, let's start with Sherrone Moore in Michigan. So Sherrone Moore is getting hit with a level 2 violation. The NCAA has given Michigan a notice of allegations. Coach Moore allegedly deleted over 50 text messages with Connor Stallions the day that it came out that he was getting in trouble. They found the messages. They looked at them. Sherrone Moore has already served a game suspension in 2023 as a part of a negotiated settlement. This was a part of Michigan's previous case where they were knocked for impermissible contact with recruits during a COVID-19 dead period. So he is considered a repeat offender in this case. Michigan could face further penalties if the NCAA finds that the new allegations constitute a pattern of noncompliance. And according to the piece in The Athletic, a postseason ban is not off the table. But it also says that, but like the NCAA is open to working with Michigan to find some middle ground here. Sean Michael is saying that Michigan has not yet been served the notice of allegations, and that
this was a draft that got quote unquote leaked.
Okay, my bad. That's on me. My bad.
Yeah, and what's it? The NCAA moves at a turtle space. Like
this does say though. Hold on, real quick. Sorry, it says Michigan received a draft notice. Okay, but it is a draft that Michigan did get from the NCAA.
Yeah. So for all those who thought like this was over and done once Michigan won a national championship and we weren't going to hear the end of it, like this was going to come up at some point, and it also kind of drives me crazy a little bit when people are like, oh, the NCAA doesn't have any teeth. The NCAA has no power. The NCAA can't do anything. The NCAA suspended their head coach last year for what, 4 games? The NCAA still wields some power. If they come up to Sherrone Moore and says, hey, you're going to we're suspending you for the first, whatever it is, say 2 games of the season, 3 games of the season, they can still do that if they wanted to. So do they have the proof? Can we see the messages? Everything I'm sure will continue to get leaked. It'll be interesting to see what's on that Netflix documentary that comes out in 3 weeks from now on Stallions. But they do have the power to suspend him. Okay. The schedule's not as favorable as it's been in the past. You got to play Texas week 2. So this could be a problem for Michigan.
I think, okay, let's think about this. I'm still unclear on exactly how Harbaugh got suspended. Was it the NCAA? Was it Big Ten? Was it because Michigan finally agreed? Because remember, the main thing
I think a little bit was we want to just get this over with. Let's get him suspended. Let's just give him 4 games and move on.
Exactly. Yes. Right. So that's what I was going to say. The main thing with the NCAA still seems to be do not cooperate. That when you cooperate, that's the only time that you actually get in trouble. That if you want to fight and scratch and claw and go tooth and nail, that you will have a pretty good chance of winning. So I guess the NCAA does exist in some weird Schrodinger zone where they're both kind of feckless, but still have some power as well, because it can be enough of a headache where you're like, whatever, fuck it. We'll just kind of do something to try to make them happy. That said, I think this is all kind of like much ado about nothing, you know. Sure, maybe Sherrone Moore takes like a suspension and like a game that doesn't matter or something, but I don't know. Like, first off, I don't think anybody gives a fuck about okay, so here's 2 different conversations. Let's have this one first. Aaron, do you care about the Michigan sign stealing scandals? Does it cheapen the championship? Does it matter at all?
I don't think it did anything to last year. I mean, this all happened prior to last year. So like Michigan winning a national championship was as pure of football that Michigan's played in the past 5 years. So like, to me, last year was the true, if Michigan's going to win a championship, do it this year, because we know you ain't going to cheat. At least, hopefully not. I don't know. Maybe they still found a way to steal signals. But no, I'm not taking away anything. Does, right? Yeah, everyone does. I'm not taking anything away from Michigan football last year. What they did was Michigan and that roster and Coach Harbaugh, and it was an incredible accomplishment. Yeah. If you want to look back to previous years and want to take a couple of games away from here, like, who cares at that point? Like, I don't think it matters. Like, even the Kentucky thing.
Like, fans might disagree, dude. We'll get to Kentucky.
Okay, we'll get to Kentucky. Like, for Michigan, like, do you truly care if you take away wins from 2022? Like, I don't give a damn. Whatever. You should not. Last year should not have an asterisk by it. I will stand by that. Last
Yeah, I
year,
agree. I agree because they
Michigan
got
won a
caught.
national championship.
I mean, they got caught in the middle of the year before they played all their tough games, and they won
Yeah.
all their tough games without Connor Stallions, without
Yep.
their head coach. Now, granted, some advanced scouting been done, but advanced scouting happens no matter what. Like,
Yep.
and again, while Michigan does seem to have been, it's like the old World War II quote: "The Japanese are like everybody else, only more so." Like,
Mhm.
yeah, Michigan seems to have been taking it to maybe a further point than a lot of people were, but it's still something that I just don't find offensive in the beginning. This idea of sign
What
stealing.
do
It's
you
even
do
going
you
to be
think
completely irrelevant
what about the
nowadays.
text messages, though? If the text messages do come out and they are pretty damning, are you worried about that at all?
No, I mean, because I mean, like, what? Okay, what could the texts contain that I'd be like, "Ooh, that's kind of fucked up." Maybe that's something I wouldn't know till I read them, but
Yeah.
like, I mean, they're probably all about like the
Sign stealing.
plays and shit, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
like sign steal. Like, so, like, I feel like it'd have to be pretty surprising to shock me in terms of what the messages are actually talking about.
Well, I
Um,
think it would show as we've the knowledge that sign stealing was occurring, that
well, yeah.
you were appreciative of the information, that you acknowledged it. I could see like something along the lines of, "Hey, this just a heads up when we're playing Michigan State this week, and this signal's done. That means this coverage." And Sherrone Moore sending back a thumbs up to Connor Stallions, like something like that.
Maybe he's like Sherrone Moore's like, fuck yeah, go deeper. But I mean, again, though, guys, could anything shock us when we literally have this picture that exists? This is a picture of Connor Stallions in fucking disguise on the Central Michigan sideline. I think
Oh,
this is like Central Michigan. What is it? Central Michigan, Michigan State? Yeah. Like, what are we talking about, dude? Like, nothing in these text messages could be more shocking than Connor Stallions literally going on a covert mission onto the sidelines of a game in a coach's uniform and,
mm,
and, and, and something that's not even like for an organization not even involved in. So,
no.
no, again, much ado about nothing. The one part I find a couple elements funny though, in that um and again, I just have I don't like it's like when the NCAA used to try to get pissed at basketball teams for paying players. I'm like, who gives a fuck, dude? Who is offended by this? No one.
Mhm.
You are the only one. But the things that
You
I
know,
find,
Ohio State fans are pushing hard for something to come down the line, and a lot of Big Ten
yeah, but
teams are.
that's just desperation.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just reeks. Is that how you want to win at Ohio State? Is that how you want your golden pants?
Yeah, they don't give a
Retroactively,
damn. They don't care.
because the NCAA vacated the win because they stole signs. Nah, get the fuck out of here.
They vacated
Um,
the win, but does that give the opposing team the win, or
no,
just say,
no,
yeah?
no, no.
So
They just
what
don't.
does it matter?
They just don't exist. Michigan has not vacated wins, to be very clear,
Yeah.
and I don't think they should. I think last year is fine. I think it's unblemished in my opinion. Um, I think it is.
Does this work the same way it worked last year, where it strengthens the culture at Michigan? Because I think that was powerful. We're talking about one of the most talented teams in America, a team that had incredible amounts of guys drafted into the NFL, a tremendous head coach, and
Mhm.
they had something that kind of rallied the troops and said, "It's us against the world. Like fuck everyone else.
Yeah,
You want to doubt us? You want to say it was because
it's
of this? We'll prove you wrong." And they went out there and dominated and won a national championship. Like,
it's not a
can you go
bad
back there and do that again if you're Sharon Moore?
it's not a bad team building strategy. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Kirby Smart talks about how he's always trying to find like little ways to improve in the percentage
Mhm.
points, like in the offseason. Like, why doesn't Kirby just like commit a crime or talk to an Athens judge and get falsely accused of a crime? And then he can rally the team behind that us against the world thing, right? Like they
Yeah.
out here trying to fuck me. And
Mhm.
we got to come together, boys, and we got to stop me from being fucked. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's actually going to get Georgia back over the hump. I don't know. No, but the joke that the internet has made, and so I'm stealing it, but I think it's very funny. It is the Bane thing, right? It's the beginning of Dark Knight Rises. They're getting that guy off the plane, and they're all about to go, and Bane looks at one of his followers. He's like, "They're going to expect someone in the wreckage, brother," and so he stays and dies at the plane. Like, and that's the other thing about this is like the NCAA. Every time you read about them, it feels like you're dealing with a court of law, but it's a fictional organization that covers
Mhm.
college sports. Like this, they mentioned that Jim Harbaugh in this draft has been levied a level 1 violation. What the fuck does that mean to Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah.
Nothing. He's out here a part of my take talking about how he's caught 25 foul balls and he brings his glove to the suite. Like it means literally nothing to his life in any way whatsoever. So I just feel a bit bad for Sherrone Moore that he's just sitting here having to clean up the shit that Harbaugh left behind. Now, he would probably tell you, I mean, that's his boy, right? Crying out the ring. He loves Coach Harbaugh. He set him up, but it's a lot of shit to have to clean up.
Is it a full Pete Carroll, as Ben Collingsworth says in the chat?
Maybe the only difference is I got some pretty good intel that Pete Carroll was running around maybe fucking a lot of co-eds at the time. That like him and Leinart and everybody were allegedly really doing
together or separately?
Dude. Like that whole USC team was like Hollywood. Like
I know they were Hollywood as Hollywood could be. I mean, I've heard Leinart say the enjoyment of being a quarterback during that era at USC was pretty special. But
and I think him and Carroll did maybe used to maybe a couple times around the same circles. I don't know. Again, I'm saying this alleged. This is like up there with like a Hollywood Inquirer rumor. Okay, like do not take this as gospel truth. Just know that from people that are tapped
I'm sure a quarterback with Lane Kiffin is probably
that doesn't
shared
seem crazy,
some co-eds before.
I mean, does it seem that crazy to think that Carroll and Leinart might have been in some of the same parties back in the day? He's very good looking, good looking.
Silver Fox.
He was like, I'm out. And then I think he got divorced and married a much younger woman, which that always seems to happen. Not with me, babe. Not with me. Okay. You my ride or die. Holy fuck. What? A tree fell. God. So annoying. All right. Let's go. That's kind of it for me on Michigan. I don't think anything's going to come of this personally. I think Michigan will find some sort of settlement. I think it's a bad look for the NCAA to go after one of their biggest brands ever, reigning national champion. I do think this is sort of a too big to fail situation. And also,
you think the Big Ten's going to let them just come in there and
yeah, I mean, the Big Ten
they get a bunch of wins and then they first things first. They will not take away the national championship. So let's just make sure that is expelled right now. Last year in the national championship, the NCAA is not here to take that away.
If you do that.
Yes.
Also, I think really, just from a optics, political standpoint, really odd battle for the NCAA want to fight to go after the new minority head coach of one of their biggest brands in the entire country after the white guy head coach took off for the NFL. You want to fight the optics on that battle, NCAA? Have fun. I think that sounds like a fucking shitstorm, personally, me. So, shout out, hey, go Wolves.